Hello and welcome to Round Glass. I'm Leah Cullis and I'm coming to you live from Austin, Texas today. Today we are going to share in a gentle yoga practice together that is intended to help us renew our energy. And today we are going to move through a sequence, move through an asana practice, which are the poses of yoga. And we're also going to be layering in our study and our practice of mantra and also mindset. So yoga is not just an exercise that we do on the mat. It's actually part of a holistic path for optimal health. And that is how we approach life, what we bring to life, and how we're engaging in everything in life. And how we feel is not just a result of how we move, it's a result of how we're living. And part of that is how we're thinking and what we're saying. So we're going to weave these different practices, these intentional ways of being into our asana practice today. So let's get started. I always recommend having a few props close to you, especially in a gentle yoga practice where we're going to be holding the poses for a longer time. So if you have yoga blocks, make sure they're close. I'm also seated on a yoga bolster, which is simply a big pillow. So you can grab a cushion from your couch or whatever will help support you in your practice. We'll get started in a very short meditation practice. So please come into a comfortable seat. Lift your hips up a little higher than your knees. And you want to position yourself so you can lift your heart and the crown of your head high. Sit up as tall as you can so that you begin to open your body and open your major energy centers. Then for today, let's place our hands down on the thighs. Roll your shoulders up by your ears. and either close your eyes or set your soft gaze to one point on the floor. And begin to tune into your natural breath. As you watch your natural breath, notice how you feel. What's the quality within your body right now? Continue to explore your inner space and pull your attention right into your center. So your center line, the structure of your spine. This is also where all our major energy flows through the spine, touching all 7 of the chakras, the major energy centers. And now draw your attention to the center of your center line, that of your heart space. And ask yourself how you want to feel as a result of your yoga practice today. As you ask, listen from where your attention is at your heart. And can you distill down your answer from your body, from your heart, into one word that can guide you in our practice today? Be love, freedom, compassion, or space. What's the one word that you can use as an anchor? Come back to again and again as a reminder of why you're really here. Let this be your intention and your mantra for your practice. And let's meet with our hands united at heart center. Anchor your heart, your thumbs into your heart as you flare your fingers out wide. Let's all together take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Bow your head to your heart. Surrender your busy mind to the wisdom that resides within your whole body. Let's tune in and tap into this inner wisdom today. Release your hands to your thighs. Open your eyes and lift your gaze. Okay, yogis, we'll come into our first pose, which is pinwheel pose. So I will come into it without props, and then I'll show you how you can use some of your props. Go ahead and slide whatever you're sitting on behind you. Then sweep your left leg around so your left heel will come to the outside of your left hip. Your right shin is almost parallel to the top of your mat, or you can angle your heel in closer towards your body, whatever feels best to you. If this is too intense already, you can grab one of your blocks or your cushion, slide it underneath your right hip, and then you have a little angle. Your left hip shouldn't be supported with it, or actually you can support it too, but this is more support. You'll feel it less intensely in your hips. So create the shape that works best for you. Anytime I use the block, you could also replace it with your bolster or vice versa. Let's go ahead and sit up tall here. Bring your hands to the tops of your thighs. We're not pressing down, we're just gently guiding our upper thigh bones down towards the earth. Continue to shimmy your heart high and allow your breath to start to flood your vital organs all through your lungs and throughout your rib cage. Okay, remember your intention as we are in this first shape. Our intention or our mantra for the practice gives us a way of thinking about the practice and then embodying the energy. So the mind and body work together, mind-body connection. So when you're breathing and your mind starts to go to a place in your physical body that's calling out for some more attention, bring your mantra back to your mind. Allow your mantra or your intention to be infused on your breath, and start to send that energy to wherever you feel it. Right now, I'm feeling it in my left hip. So rather than responding or adjusting the physical body, that's more a surface response. Go deeper and bring in the energy you want to experience, body, mind, and heart. Okay, now let's rock our weight onto the right hip, gracefully as you can. Swing your legs forward, pedal out your knees. You can even sway your feet side to side. And now notice the difference between your two sides. Let's set up for the second side. Pinwheel pose, right heel by your right hip, left shin parallel towards the top of your mat. Sit up nice and tall. Use your hands as anchors to get more rooted in through your legs and the lower half of your body as you lift your heart high. When we lift up through the spine, we're creating space for more breath, pranic-filled breath to flow through our entire body. And when we use our mantra of breathing in our intention on the inhale and sending it out on the exhale, we start to infuse each cycle of breath with more purposeful and personal energy. So take a few deep breaths here. As you breathe in, invite in. And as you breathe out, let the energy of your intention wash over your body, wash over your experience right here in this seat. Almost there, yogis. Can you settle in a little bit more? Allow each exhale to be a softening into your own space. And each inhale, a lifting and expanding into your body. All of this together, mantra, mindset, and our physical movement helps us to renew our energy from the inside out. Okay, slowly rock your weight onto your left cheek. Sweep your right leg forward. Extend both legs out in front of you. Pedal out your knees and notice what you feel now. Okay, we're coming into butterfly pose, our next shape. So make a diamond with your legs. I'm actually going to turn and face this way. So you want to face the top of your mat as well. And this is similar to Baddha Konasana or cobbler's pose, but we're borrowing from the yin tradition here. So we want a little more space between the groin and the heels. You can measure it out about 2 hand lengths between your groin and your heels. You can always give yourself some more space or less depending on your unique needs. Again, we want this to be a practice that renews you from the inside out. So set yourself up for success before you even get into the pose. Be at your edge, but not pushing past it. Then we'll use one of the props. I'm going to use my bolster here. I love practicing with a bolster. So you can use this or even stack some of your props together. We'll sit up nice and tall with the butterfly legs. This may be where you stop and you breathe. You can close your eyes. If you're ready to go deeper, you can hinge forward at your hips. Maintain the length of your spine for as long as you can until you hit that first layer of resistance. That's your body's divine feedback flowing up for you. So pause, stay there, and when you feel ready, drop your head. You can keep your hands on your shins, or if you have a bolster, you can even make a pillow with your arms, or extend your arms forward. Allow yourself to land into the shape, and then breathe into the shape. There are so many ways to use the props to help support you right where you are. And when you can be fully present in your body, fully present in each cycle of breath, this is what brings power, energy, life force into your body. So simply be here and breathe here, yogis. And remind yourself with each cycle of breath why you're here. Being in relationship with your why or your intention carries a whole new level of energy. So as you breathe in love. As you breathe out, share out love. Let it radiate from you. As you breathe in compassion for yourself. As you breathe out, share it out. Send it out into the world. In every pose, we have the opportunity to generate energy. And when we're generating the energy, we're filling our own cup. We have about 5 more breaths here. Notice if you can dive deeper into your pose through the opening that you've created by being in the shape, not by doing more, but by feeling more. Intentionally bringing more into the shape, into each breath, being more you within the action, within the asana. With your next exhale, invite your low belly back. And then slowly crawl your hands closer towards your torso. Sit up nice and tall. Nice work. Slide your props over off the edge of your mat. Extend your legs long and pedal out your knees. All right. Cross your ankles. Come into Sukhasana easy pose. One hand to your heart, one hand to your low belly. Take a moment to tune in. The practice of yoga teaches us that action and asana are necessary to expand our own energy, to identify the places within us and around us where we can grow. But equally important are the periods of rest, restoration, and inquiring within to notice how the practice and how the things that we do are impacting us so that we can bring greater alignment internally and externally, so that we're filling our own cups up as we move through this beautiful journey of life. Take a deep breath in, open mouth, exhale. Blink your eyes open, and let's move on. Ground your hands, roll over your ankles. You can either come into tabletop pose, so all fours with your hands stacked underneath your shoulders, hips over your knees. Or if it's in your practice and you want to bring more heat into your body, tuck your toes under, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here and move or sway in a way that feels good to you. And that helps you settle into your own sacred space, your body. Now balance out your breath in and out of your nose. And remind yourself of your mantra for your practice, your intention. Take a deep breath in, open mouth, exhale. Glance up at your hands, move your thumbs to meet one another. So thumbs are connected at the midline of your mat. Then inhale, sweep your right leg high, three-legged dog. On your exhale, step your foot to your right pinky. You might take a couple of steps to get there. Inhale, stretch your heart forward. Then exhale, lower your left knee down. We'll start with our toes facing forward, the right toes facing forward for our first lizard variation. This is a great place to use your blocks or your bolster here. You can stay lifted up onto your hands. Some of you can move down to your forearms. Some of you might even be able to move your forearms all the way down to the ground. Find the degree of the pose where you can be in the fullness of your breath, fully connected to your intention, your guiding light, and experiencing the fullness of the sensations within your body, your pose. And with each exhale, can you soften your heart space more towards the ground? Even let your head drop, like you're bowing, you're surrendering to the earth while still experiencing the structure of you, your body. Option to stay here or return to your hands. This time, spin your right toes out to 2 o'clock. And then shift onto the knife edge of your foot, the pinky toe edge. So this will give us an external rotation for our hips. Slide your left hand more towards the left edge of your mat. Right palm to your mid right thigh. Gently coax your right hip open. Notice if your shoulders creeped up by your ears, slide them down your back and shine your heart forward. Big full breaths here, yogis. Let your asana, your pose, be a generator for the energy you came here for. About 5 more breaths. Option to reach your right arm high, then towards the back of your mat. If you want to add on the quad stretch, bend your left knee, pull your heel towards your glutes, then drag the tops of your ears back, open your throat wherever you are in your shape. Deep breath in, stick your tongue out, exhale. Gently release your left foot down, walk your hands towards the center of your mat, reset your right toes, stay with me here, slide back onto your left heel until you come to sit down. Stomp your right foot to the outside of your left leg. We'll set up for Ardha Matsyendrasana, a seated twist. So right fingers behind your sacrum, turn and look to the left or the right edge of your mat. Your left arm wraps around your right shin, or you can cross your center line. Ride your breath here. Each inhale, you sit taller. Each exhale, allow your seat to anchor into the earth. Slowly unwind. Extend your legs long. Pedal out your knees. Then cross your ankles, roll over your feet. We return to tabletop pose or downward facing dog. You choose. Take a few breaths here to move in a way that feels good to you. Next inhale, sweep your left leg high. On your exhale, step to your left pinky. So you want your left foot wider than your right foot. You can reconnect your thumbs at the center of your mat to get the proper distance for your body. Inhale, shine your heart forward, get as long as you can. Then exhale, gracefully set your right leg down. I like to keep my back toes tucked under, but you can choose what works best for you. Continue to ground through your left big toe mound and hug your left knee in towards your left shoulder. Set up for our first variation of lizard pose. As you come into your shape and identify the physical edges within you, or our perceived limitations, where we start to experience tension or tightness. Let it all be information to ground you deeper into your experience in your body right now. When we're grounded physically, fully present with our breath, it's the right time to bring in purpose, to weave in intention. When we layer the practices of yoga, mantra, mindset, movement, we start to amplify the results. So when your mind starts to wander from what you're feeling right now, come back and weave in your purpose, your intention. Let your practice renew your energy so it's filling you from the inside and felt wherever you go. All right, spin your left toes out to the left edge of your mat. Shift onto the pinky toe edge of your left foot. Lower down to your degree. And then slide your right hand closer to the right edge. Left palm to your mid-left thigh. Gently coax your left hip open. Soften your shoulders. Bring your breath. Option to expand your left arm skyward. Stay open across your heart as you reach back. As soon as you start to cave or collapse, know that we're creating a cutting off of the energy. So stay open, yogis. Bend your back knee, catch your foot, hug in. And a big clearing breath here all together. Draw your upper arm bones back. Open up your throat. Deep inhale. Tongue out, lion's breath. Gently release your back foot. Reset. Feel grounded before you transition. Now slide back over your right heel. Then cross your left foot beyond your right thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Left fingers behind you. Hook and twist. Turn to the left. Notice when you start to collapse, back up your shape. We're going for a holistic experience. Whole is the goal here. Then turn forward, slowly unwind. Extend both legs forward, pedal out your knees. Cross your ankles. Roll over your feet to a kneeling position. I'll turn to face y'all. Okay, yogis, now we are going to transition from the space of our mat. And my request is that you find a wall or a chair that you can use to help support you in your practice. I'm going to transition to the wall. And if you don't have a wall, all is well. You can just go ahead and do these positions laying down on your back, creating an L. We'll come into Viparita Karani or legs up the wall pose. So legs up the wall pose is one of the main positions that it's actually the #1 pose that I recommend to any private clients I work with. It's so good for soothing the low back. It's a restorative position because our legs will be up and then we drain all of the energy from the legs into the vital organs. So how you get into it is not very graceful, but know that we're all going through the transition together. So bring one hip up to the baseboard of your wall and then lay down on your back and in one swoop, swing your legs up the wall. And then as best as you can, scooch your seat close to the wall, so touching if you can. Then separate your feet to about hip distance and then release any tension through your muscles. So this is a restorative pose where we bypass the muscles. We let the muscles be soft. And in doing so, we start to work into the connective tissue and use the wisdom of our bones. So all the bones in the feet, through the legs, all of the weight of our bones are helping to reset our thigh bones into our hip sockets. As this inner reset happens, the low back begins to unwind and expand. Option to either keep your hands on tops of your thighs or extend your arms out by your sides. If your hands are on your thighs, bring the base of your palms to the hip creases, so where you feel your body creating the 90-degree angle right near the hips. Gently press your thigh bones towards the wall. Look and listen for a response from your low back. And then gently release your hands by your sides. Deep, full breaths here. And as you breathe and be in this pose, bring in, weave in your mantra for this practice. Align your mind with your body and your breath. Breathe in love. Send out love. We're always generating energy, whether we're aware of it or not. So as you've carved out time to be in your yoga practice, amplify the results that you came here for by bringing your fullness to this experience. Body, mind, and breath. Option to stay here if this is feeling really good, or start to bend your knees, press your feet into the wall, and scooch your body about shin distance away from the wall. So it's like you're doing a wall sit, but laying down on the floor. We'll come into supported frog pose. So this is a big hip opener. Gently widen your right knee out to the right side. Press down through all four corners of your right foot. Then do the same with your left side. This is a great option if you've ever done frog on the floor. Sometimes people can complain or are concerned with knee pain because there's so much pressure happening on the knees. This is a more passive pose that you still get the same benefits. And if it's ever too much, you can always bring one or both of your blocks to support underneath your thigh bones. This is still a big hip opener. Sometimes we got to use a little support to find the full experience for ourselves. So notice what you need. Give yourself what you need. Give yourself your own medicine. And know that as you do so, it's a part of your path of renewing your energy. Couple more breaths here, yogis. Stay with it. When your body starts to tense up or react to whatever energy is being unlocked within you, remember that's part of the process too. So can you meet your sensations with your calm and balanced breath, your intentional breath, and bring more of the energy that you want to create, that you want to experience, and that you want to share. Bring it into your body and your breath right now. Option to stay here or bring your knees back up to hip distance. Just a couple more variations. You may need to scooch in or out depending on your unique needs. Lift your right foot away from the wall, cross your right ankle over your right thigh. Figure 4 at the wall. If you need more, you can always lace your hands through, pull both legs towards you, or simply press more into the wall. There are so many ways to do every pose. And part of the practice of yoga, not just a one-time yoga practice, but being in the practice of yoga, is giving yourself different variations and understanding embodied experiences of the poses. And inquiring, what is this doing for me? How is it impacting my energy? And how can I use it in my life? Okay, reset your right foot down, cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Deep, full breaths here. So the pose doesn't happen with just how we place the body. The pose is a process that engages the mind, engages the body. And all of it is amplified when we bring in a higher call to our physical and mental experience. Prayer, mantra, intention. It's all part of a practice of bringing in a higher energy to be felt in the now moment and woven through life. Okay, yogis, wherever you are, scoot your hips further away from the wall until you can pull your knees into your chest and either make your way back on your mat or just take Shavasana where you are. I will meet you in a seated position on my mat. As you take your final rest, take up your space physically. Close your eyes so that all of your attention is directed inward. Let go of any control, any manipulation of your breath. And return to your new natural. Get a sense of your renewed energy within you. You've done the work. Now let the gifts of your yoga practice expand within you. Become who you are. Shavasana. If you have the time and the space to stay longer and savor your practice, please stay in Shavasana. If you're ready to move on, invite gentle movement back into your fingers and toes. And then slowly pull yourself into a small ball, gather, and gently rock to one side. Slowly press yourself up to a seat, and let's meet facing one another with our hands united at heart center. Take a moment to acknowledge and honor yourself for the work that you've done today. Being in a practice of renewing your energy with your mindset, your words, the words that you say to yourself, the asanas, the poses you've created. And trust that the practices coming together, layering them like you have today, not only have you filled your own cup, but you carry this uplifted energy wherever you go, and it's felt by others as well. To seal our practice, let's close with a final Om. Take a deep breath in. Lift your prayer hands to your third eye. Bowing together, we say Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your yoga practice today. I'm Leah Cullis, and I hope to practice again with you soon. Please join us for more yoga and meditations on Round Glass or on our app. Be well, yogis.